This is the AOC Sports High School Football Preview Show.
Well, we made it to week 2 of the high school football season here on UTV 44, and we're excited to be here tonight. I'm Jim Cox, my partner Dan Brennan, and boy, you know, a week ago we were excited the season was going to get underway. We got through a week, and now we're here for week 2, and it was different. It felt different at the game. What we did was different. One thing that didn't change, UMS Wright, 34 in a row. They just look like the same UMS Wright we've been watching the last 3 years here.
Yeah, the last 20 years. We were talking about that during the broadcast too. They're almost interchangeable, some of the players that we've seen for years and years, and they just drive opponents crazy because they're always where they need to be. They use the right technique, and they make you beat them. And even though Baker had some pretty good offensive moments, they didn't have enough offensive moments that got them into the end zone, dropped a few passes, and UMS Wright, of course, takes advantage of everything you do. So they look really good again, but we're going to get a chance to see another team in 5A that's a really good team tonight.
Yeah, we're excited about our matchup tonight. Faith Academy traveling to Ladd Stadium to take on Williamson, and a chance to see these teams obviously for the first time this year. Both teams coming off impressive victories in week 1. We'll talk with both coaches about that, but we always like to talk a little sports health at this point of the show as well. Rich Myers with us again this week, and you know, last week we were talking about prevention, and you do a lot of that here at AOC Sports. We were talking about ACL prevention, and then all of a sudden, you know, you watching NFL camps, and you're starting to see more and more of those injuries, and a lot of times non-contact injuries, and that's a big part of what you're trying to prevent as the season gets started, right?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things we're seeing, like we talked about last week, these guys didn't get a big summer strength program. They didn't get a spring training, so they're going right into a season with really minimal training and not a whole lot of contact with their teammates either. So the heightened risk of injuries there, and you know, a lot of the things we're looking at is how far on the prevention curve can we get ahead of it to try to keep these kids safe throughout the season. And you know, so far it's working pretty good. We're seeing a few little dings and pings. One of the biggest things we're scared of is, you know, these guys some of them did make it to the weight room, or they were working out at home or on their own. They're getting a ton of quad development, a lot of strength going, very little mobility work. And, you know, one of the things we were looking at, had Chris Autry, that former Alabama slot receiver that we got. He's trying to find a pro team right now. One of the things we're looking at is, like, with some of these guys like Autry that have like incredible quad and leg development, like when he does a vertical jump or a landing, go ahead and jump for us, Chris. When he lands, sometimes, you know, he lands sturdy, he's been trained and knows what he's doing, but sometimes you'll see athletes, you'll have an imbalance between quad and glute, and their adductors and their glutes are not firing off properly, and when they land, go ahead and land, Chris, they'll hit into a valgus movement, the knees will come in, and sometimes on a lateral change of direction or even in a non-contact, you know, play, they'll wind up blowing their ACL or doing some knee damage. So,
and so it's training and prevention has changed so much over the years, and so even a guy like Chris who doesn't skip leg day very often. He doesn't appear. But even if you're an NFL player or a college kid or a high school kid, and even if you were great at working out on your own, getting ready to get to the season, you're like, man, I got to get to the weight room. It's not the same as having a structured program or having someone like yourself there to say, okay, that's great, but now we got to make sure we're working on mobility and flexibility, so you can. It's not just go lift as much as you can in the weight room these days.
Absolutely. You know, position-wise, you know, it can vary from position to position, but one thing, you know, is a big emphasis is movement over maxes. You know, we want to see these kids moving properly. You can be a superstar in the weight room, but that can, you know, wreak havoc on the field. So making sure these guys are doing it properly. I mean, we're lucky here in Alabama, Baldwin County. Most of our schools around here have some of the best strength coaches around, and they do an excellent job, but they got a lot of kids to keep up with, and it's hard for them to implement the mobility side on a daily basis. So they're getting in as much as they can, and we try to fill the gaps for them.
And sometimes, kids, you think you're invincible. You just do what you want to do in the weight room, and you're not going to get hurt. And then all of a sudden, because you're such a great athlete and great strength, and then you have one of those injuries that happen, and it's just
like putting a V8 engine in a Prius. Something's going to give.
Yeah, you know that feeling, Dan Brennan. All right, well, no more jumps. No more jumps. And put some pants on. You're making us look bad here. Put some pants on. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Richie. I'll continue to keep these kids healthy as we get ready for week 2 of the high school football season here on UTV 44. Faith Academy and Williamson tonight. Our old friend Jack French is going to be the first one up to talk to us about the Faith Academy Rams tonight and their big win last week against Andalusia as we get ready for week 2 tonight here on UTV 44. Pre-game show rolling on here from AOC Sports. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, as we get ready to kick this one off here tonight at Ladd Peoples Stadium, as we've got Williamson playing host to the Faith Academy Rams. Both teams getting a win on the week 1 of the season, and we'll start off talking about Faith Academy with Coach Jack French here, our old friend, and went on the road last week. We were just talking about getting to Andalusia and how you get there, but boy, a tough place to go, but a great road win, 10-9, you get the victory. Great way to open up the season for the Rams on Friday night.
Well, we thank you. We felt like we just snuck out with one. You know, we took it right down to the last play. Nothing was certain till the kick went left.
I bet you that crowd was pleased as you got on the bus and got the heck out of there.
I want to put it in the rearview mirror, I tell you.
So we've known you a long time doing these games, and kind of retired. Then you came to Baker and made such a big impact there, and now you've been at Faith Academy, and really it's the same trajectory that we're seeing there, and it's under your guidance. And I gotta think you're having fun still. Like, I gotta think you're still really just having fun being on the sideline with kids like this every Friday night, right?
Well, that makes it a lot more fun. Yeah. Because if we had 3 or 4 of him, you know, it'd be more fun. Some people do.
Oh, y'all keep up with other teams too, I see.
Yeah,
okay, just checking on that.
Yeah, Shamar James is here, and we can't wait to watch him play tonight. And just your prototypical on the roster wide receiver / defensive end. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see that in a lot of players double as. I hope the sarcasm is coming in. I mean, a special set of skills this young man has.
Yeah, he is special. He's got a lot of tools, and I think the thing probably we like most about Shamar though, he's full of personality. He's not just a football player. He's a good person and a good student, good asset to our school, our team, and we enjoy working with him. Glad he had a good night, so the rest of us could have a good night, and hope he has many more to come.
The personality on display a little bit with talking to Coach Malzahn, and Coach Malzahn said, "Did you grow up an Alabama fan?" And how did you? Because I just thought this was great. How did you tell us how you answered that question to Coach Malzahn?
I can't really remember off the tip of my fingers, but it was something around. I never was an Alabama fan, but I have nothing against Alabama. They're a great team and all, but I just never grew up an Alabama fan.
You're kind of like, everybody likes them. That's the easy default. Everybody likes them. You're like, nah, I want to be part of something that kind of maybe takes them on. So just talk about starting the season, the big win you got up at Andalusia, and kind of your thoughts on the Rams' outlook, get ready for as we move on to week 2 and on during the season.
I feel like it was a close game. I mean, we came out barely with the win. I feel like we still have to work on things offensively and defensively, but I feel like we can get better every day. And I just feel like we do get better every day in practice with Coach French and the rest of our coaching staff pushing us. We never know how good we can be.
Talk about now ascending to your senior year. You've lost a lot of seniors from last year's team, and it was a great team you had a year ago. How do you kind of put things back into place, and you as a senior and a leader on this team?
Let's get that straight. He's a junior.
Just a junior.
You're a junior?
Just a junior.
Yes, sir.
I'm just giving up. I'm giving up altogether now. That doesn't look like a junior. Let's just talk about the team now. And you've lost so many seniors. How do you guys rally around what you have back?
That's a hard question. Our seniors last year, they were great. Every single person was great. We lost one of our key players, Colin Lacey, and it's hard to replace Colin. It's going to take 3 or 4 people to replace him, as Coach French told us once before. And we just have to work hard every day, and hard work always outbeat talent.
I got a chance to go to some Baker practices back in the day, so I know very much what you're going through on a daily basis, because I'm sure that Coach French hasn't changed his ways. The record reflects that. So what is the special sauce, Coach? Is it just hard work? Is it organization? How are you able to win in different programs?
You know, we'd have to give all that glory to God, because only He knows, you know, and, you know, He just takes care of us day by day. We have faith in Him, but we know He put us here to use the talents that we do have, and just try to make the best of them work. And like Shamar said, we can get a little better every day. That's all we can ask.
Early in the season, you don't have as much maybe scouting film on opponents as you do later on in the season, but you go up against this Williamson team that I think a little quietly has been really building and ascending under Coach Sumter over there. They got a big win. They're a really young team. They got a big win over LaFleur, and I think, and we'll talk to Coach in a minute, but probably the biggest thing for them, you would think, finding a way to win that game with a bunch of young kids. But as you look at the film and get ready for tonight's game, what do you see from this young Lions team you're going to face?
Well, they're one of those that I was talking about. They have several guys like that, and you know, it's obvious. You know, some of the best players in the state, and you know, I know Coach Sumter. I've seen he and his staff. I've been up close with them before. You know, while I was retired, I got to know them, and they're a wonderful staff. Love their kids, and they get after you, and you know, so we know this is going to be an extremely tough game.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to see it. There's some special players on both sides of the ball, and we can't wait to.
And some of them are juniors.
Yes, and we'll probably see you back
look
here
like
again,
seniors.
Next, I mean, Coach French was not going to let. He's like, no, he's playing one more year. There's no doubt about it. All right, Coach, great. Stick around for the last segment. We have more silliness that we'll do at the end of the show. Nice to meet you, young man. We'll see you out there in the field. Stay safe. When we come back, we'll talk with Coach Sumter and the Lions as we get ready for our matchup tonight. Faith Academy in Williamson, right here on UTV 44. Second week of the high school football season here on UTV 44, and our first trip to Ladd for the 2020 campaign. And we've got the home team, the Williamson Lions, playing host to the Faith Academy Rams, and very excited to again make it to another game here. Dan Brennan, Jim Cox, and now we get to talk the Williamson side of things a little bit here. Coach Dedrick Sumter here on my right, and Jacoby Shaw. We're going to talk about him. He'll be running the football a lot here tonight, and you might have heard us talking with Coach French a little bit. The win last week for your team, when I was looking at the depth charts earlier this week, you're a very, very young team. I think 1 senior on defense and maybe 3 seniors on the offensive line, that's it. But just how important when you have such a young team to find a way to get a win in week 1 like you did against LaFleur?
Really, they not young. All of them started as sophomores.
They played a lot, they're just young.
No, it was more, all those guys started as sophomores.
Wow.
So they let it, all of them played as sophomores. We probably got 2, maybe two new starters, but all of those guys were starters last year.
And were successful last year too.
Yeah, they're very successful. And anytime you're in a rival game, sometimes emotional get the best of you. Sometimes you try a little harder, but don't take nothing from LaFleur. Hey man, they really play hard. But like you said, we found a way. And I just think that's one of the keys to being one of the better teams. Sometimes you just have to find a way to win.
Mm-hmm. And you have to have kids that are used to winning, expecting to win.
That's right.
And the success you've had over the past several years at Williamson, certainly grooming the Lions in that mindset right now.
Yeah, and it's a program with such great history too, and part of that we've been able to see through the years too. we've been doing this a long time, Coach, and we were just talking to Coach French about that long and winding road to Andalusia. One of the coolest things that we get to see when we're at Lad People Stadium for a Williamson game, it ain't a ride at all. It's just your kids leave the gym and walk to Lad.
No, we ride the bus.
Oh, you do?
We ride the bus.
Oh, okay. Things have changed.
Safety issues.
Okay,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ride the bus.
But it really is like a home. It really, that is your home right there.
Yeah, we practice there.
Yeah.
So that's home.
Looking at this Faith Academy team, we were just looking at, talking with Shamar James. We saw him. You and I were talking about him before the taping of the show here. But what did you see watching the film from their win when they went up to Andalusia to open things up?
Typical Jack French team. That's going to be well coached. They're going to play hard. They're going to play hard. Been knowing Coach for a long time, and actually the first time I did this, he was at Baker.
Oh,
So
wow.
my first time was with Coach French.
I remember that game. Yeah, it was out at Baker. Right?
Yes, sir.
Was it a
Early
week
in the
one
season.
game?
Yeah,
Was it
it
like
was.
18,000 degrees? Was it like was that the game? It was super hot. Yeah.
It's like playing on Mars.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But
So you kind of know what you're going to get, but
Yes,
then seeing Shamar over there, he has to be. You got to do some game planning for him on both sides of the ball. I'm guessing.
he's rare. He's rare because you could take like Robert Williard, you could take that linebacker to running back.
Sure.
But when you take that skill set as a defensive end and to see this guy with size and space, it's kind of unbelievable. It's very rare. Very, very impressed with him. Very impressed.
One thing viewers are going to see here tonight is Jacoby Shaw carrying the football for your team. Had a great game last week, and not going to be the biggest running back we see this year.
Right.
But boy, young man, not afraid to stick his nose up in there between the tackles at all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You think when you see him, you think, okay, space, get him in space. But nah, he's a very disciplined runner with your gap schemes, with your inside zone schemes. He's gonna get in there. Like I said, he played a lot last year. His brother was the starting running back last year, was all state. And Jacoby has all those qualities. So don't think because he's small, he's not going to get up inside. When he scored that touchdown, I was straight physical, straight down here.
He's not just a gadget, not a gadget back.
No, not a gadget back at all.
Jacoby, talk about being a Williamson Lion, your brother being a star there. Now it looks like you're going to get the ball a bunch. How much are you looking forward to the rest of this season?
I'm looking forward to it very well. I think looking at my brother's mistakes last year and greats last year, it's just a learning process, basically. That's it.
And there's like, not to use a play on words with the pride, but boy, there is tremendous family pride to be a Williamson Lion and in that community. I mean, it means a lot to put on that Lion jersey on a Friday night, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Bet it does. And you watch this with a Williamson team that, again, we saw some really remarkable Williamson teams back in the day. And people think of Jamarcus Russell and a host of receivers, but they had some guys that could play defense too. And one of those guys is your defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Antonio Coleman. Yeah, boy,
Yeah.
he was one of the most dominant players we've seen on that side of the football in all the years we've been doing high school football.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And plus, you just think about it, I never seen, they just go fifth year coaching, period. But since day one he became the defensive coordinator, he top three every year. He top three every year with defense. He believed in a simple scheme, but mastering the scheme. Fundamental coach, strength and conditioning guy. So he's an NFL guy. So he sees a higher level of accountability that he places on that defense that spills over to the whole program.
Yeah, it's going to be good to catch up with Coach Coleman on the field before the game too.
Can't wait. One last, like how and everybody's dealing with the challenges of the pandemic, but how's the challenge been for you and your staff?
Really, it's like that, like what you spoke upon earlier. That first game it was a different feel. It was a different feel, but adjusting, making sure that we're following the proper protocols every day that we take very seriously, and a lot of prayer, and a lot of precaution. So. Hey, it's a different time, but at the same time, we maintain a lot of accountability, making sure that, man, my staff and my coaches are safe.
Awesome.
Yep. We all just got to do our own little part.
That's it.
That's it. Do our own little part. All right, Coach, stay here. Jacoby, we'll see you on the field momentarily. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. We'll talk with both coaches and some more silliness as always to wrap up the show as we get ready for week 2 here on UTV 44. Williamson and Faith Academy coming up, kickoff just about 10 minutes away. All right, as we get ready for week 2 of the high school football season, I want to make a note. We record this show on Wednesday nights, so we know there's some, there's going to be some bad hurricane things that take place later on tonight to our neighbors to the west. So we don't want to sound insensitive, like we're maybe not addressing what's going on, or maybe there's some social justice issues that have been taking place. But we're just on Wednesday night here, so we need to address anything. We'll do it at the start of the broadcast.
Well done.
Coach has been around. I don't know if you did, we do this little silliness to end the show. We've done different things. So we have a new segment here. We call it Like It, Love It, or Steer Clear of It. And so you just get to choose which you like. And so Dan Brennan, I'll start.
Jack French is staring at you right now.
I know. He's like,
I can't hear.
He's like, I should have stayed retired. Painting a room in your house.
Stay clear of it.
I didn't hear you.
Painting a room.
I'm gonna get out of a lot.
You like it? Like it? Oh, I can't. When I paint a room, it looks like I paint a room. Speakerphone conversations.
Don't hate it.
Yeah, I do when I'm talking to you on the speakerphone. I can't stand when somebody's on a speakerphone. How about you?
Don't like them.
No. I'm just guessing you're not a big text guy either. Am I right? You're not a big text? Maybe? No. Good.
Like it.
He likes it. Speakerphone. See, I can't.
Don't pick on the Hall of Famer. We're glad he's here.
Don't pick on the elderly.
All right, here we go. Loading or unloading the dishwasher?
I do it.
Okay.
Well, I do it too when I'm told.
Just wash this. We don't use it.
Yeah, so I say nice move.
We just wash.
All right, here. New Orleans Saints over 10.5 wins this season.
Like it.
Who?
The Saints. They going to win more than 10.5?
I really don't know.
Love it.
Love it.
There we go.
I say steer clear of it.
Okay.
And I like the Saints. I like the Saints, but I'd steer clear of that one. Kickoff comes up between Faith Academy and Williamson right here tonight on UTV 44. Jim Cox, we're off to the booth.